Well, with Labor Day behind us, fall season is officially on vogue. So hold on to your pumpkin spice, kids. It's time to get Dunkin'. Hello, food freaks, and welcome to That's Rank. Today is a bit of an impromptu episode, but I saw that Dunkin' Donuts had released their fall menu. And I can't normally get Dunkin' Donuts. We don't have a location in the Ottawa area, and we don't really have that many Dunkins in Canada at all. Crazy, right? Given that you in America can't so much as walk half a block without being smacked right in the face by a Munchkin ad. But what can I say? Canada's Timmy's country, and we don't leave much room in the sandbox for anybody else to play. Now, like every other coffee shop in the world, Dunkin' is wise to the fact that fall is prime time for sales. Beach bods have decided to go back into hibernation, trading out bikini tops for hoodies and sweaters, and damn it, fall, what the hell's the matter with you? Unfortunately, in this part of the world, there's no winning against Mother Nature, and somewhere along the line, the marketing geniuses at Starbucks discovered that if you slap the word pumpkin on everything at this time of the year, you will print mad stacks of cash. And once everybody else realized it, it's been a mad pumpkin world ever since. And you might be wondering how I feel about that. Amazing. I love pumpkin spice. Frankly, if you're not down with pumpkin, it's gonna be a long next few weeks for you, because I'm buying everything that's ever even rubbed up against a pumpkin. I'm a basic white girl, just deal with it. All right, here's a quick rundown of today for what I grabbed for the episode. Pumpkin cream cold brew, pumpkin spice signature latte, nutty pumpkin coffee, blood orange Dunkin' refresher, glazed pumpkin cake donuts, pumpkin munchkins, pumpkin muffin, and maple sugar bacon. My friends, let's roll. We're gonna start out today with the food, and they've only got one limited time donut this fall, which actually feels like a little bit of a letdown. I feel like there was a place to gently modify the apple fritter and make it a caramel apple fritter. This had better be one hell of a donut, because it's carrying the entire hopes and dreams of the fall on its back. Now, they may roll out some stuff for Halloween if we're lucky. I seem to remember some spooky themes at Dunkin' in the past, like a donut stuffed with a giant spider donut hole, but that might be in a few weeks' time. This is a very, very, very unfortunate donut. I mean, it's like stretching on the sides. I'm getting some brown-eyed girl vibes coming out of this thing. So it's a normal glazed cakey donut, and it smells bloody amazing, but then this whole room smells great right now. You know those cinnamon brooms that Trader Joe's sells? Well, that's this room right now. Dunkin' has just encapsulated the fall, and I'm pretty happy about it. Now I'm extra happy. Holy hell, this is a good donut. Now, normally, I would prefer a melty, airy donut, but I think cake actually makes sense with the pumpkin since pumpkin puree is so dense. It's also got this warm cinnamon and nutmeg flavor in it. You know, you'd want those to accompany any good pumpkin flavor. And the glaze itself, a little bit sticky, and it's vanilla. It's a really good accompaniment. Guys, we're gonna start out hot, and I'm gonna put this directly into the A tier. I can't imagine a cake donut ever ranking an S, but maybe I just haven't had that donut yet. Still, amongst cake donuts, this is probably about as good as it gets, so excellent start, Dunkin'. Up second, we've got the Munchkin, which is America's answer to the Timbit, or as the rest of the world knows it, the donut hole. I've gotta think this is literally the same thing as the pumpkin donut, because it would strike me as a colossal waste to be cutting these holes out of some other donut that they're not selling. Of course, I'm not ruling it out. This is America. It's a proud nation, but not always the wisest nation. The wisest nations are those tropical island countries. You know, as long as it's not in a hurricane belt, living life on blue waters, 90-degree temperature year-round, you know, they don't need pumpkin spice. Beach body season is a lifestyle. I want to say that I would miss the pumpkin spice, but I'd be living in paradise, and frankly, I wouldn't miss a damn thing. Yeah, that's exactly the same thing. Same glaze on the donut, just a little bit smaller. And you know what? In this case, size doesn't matter. It's packing the same flavor, so this is an A tier level treat as well. We're 2 for 2 to start the day. I like where today's episode is headed. You want to check out my muffin top? This is a great muffin top. It's got that beautiful streusel lining to go along with icing on top of it. And I'll be curious about the icing because conventional wisdom says that it should be a cream cheese icing, but maybe they'll throw me a curveball and it'll be, oh, I don't know, Alfredo sauce? Good news, it's not Alfredo sauce. It is just a vanilla icing though, which feels like a little bit of a letdown to me. I think the sharpness of some cream cheese would have actually been a perfect accompaniment to the top of this muffin. And don't get me wrong, The muffin is tasty, and the streusel crumble adds some extra sweet crunchiness to it. The muffin is actually pretty close to the donut in terms of flavor, but thankfully they mixed up the extras just enough here to make it unique. I'm gonna move this one down to the B tier. It's still a very good, very strong offering overall. I'm just a little bit let down by the fact they didn't get creative with their icing and they just wound up topping it with the same glaze they use on 100 other things in shop. I would still order this with my morning coffee though. Like, you can't go wrong with this muffin. It's a solid muffin, so B feels right to me. This package right here has to be the single most American thing I've ever seen. It is literally bacon. Just bacon. Even better though, it's called snackin' bacon. You know, hey, I need a quick pick-me-up. Should I grab an apple, maybe a banana? No, you know what? I'm gonna take the 8 strips of bacon and maple sugar. Literally, my heart is hurting just looking at this. You know, I can't believe this is real. The advertising for it even mentions it's in a special sleeve for snacking on the go. You know, the only place you're gonna be headed on the go if this is your snack is the emergency room. So good though. I don't know if I can even judge you for taking this as your snack. It's outstanding. It's literally everything that snack makers are always aiming for. It's salty, it's crunchy, it's fatty, and it's sweet. Bacon is already about as close to perfect as it gets, but then they've added this maple sugar. It's like, you know, hold up, bro. I've got an idea. And then they just intertwined in this amazing love-making experience that's just straight up perfection. I don't even know how to rate this because from a flavor perspective, this is some S-tier shit right here, but I'm carrying guilt even encouraging this because this isn't a snack. A granola bar is a snack. I'm gonna be a weasel and forego a rating on this bacon. You already know what my taste buds are feeling, but the whole thing just feels so unbelievably wrong to me. Thanks, Dunkin, you've conflicted my morals. Okay, I think I've managed to get my heart restarted after the snackin' bacon, so we're moving on to the drinks now. And I'm gonna kick us off with the Blood Orange Refresher because it's the only non-pumpkin drink on their limited time menu, and that kind of intrigues me a little bit. I love blood oranges. You know, when we used to travel to Florida around Christmas time, it was in the heart of blood orange season, and man, they are good. They have this tartness to them that makes them so different from other oranges. You know, almost the same zing that you would get from a raspberry. It's super juicy. I'm a huge fan. Love the color of this drink as well. It's just this dark orange. You know, I think it's pretty inviting looking. Ooh, that's interesting. Very tart, almost a little bit sour. I got this one with green tea. Apparently, you've got the option to mix this with coconut milk too if you want, but I decided to keep it fairly basic. I feel like the coconut milk would give it some creaminess and a lot more sweetness, so if you're looking for a heavier sweet drink, you know, maybe that's the way to go. Now, what I'm not getting is blood orange. You know, it feels more like an orange cranberry drink. It tastes like Christmas a little bit. It kind of feels a little out of place on the fall menu, to be honest with you. I'd 100% repurpose this for next year and serve it at Christmas season. I'm not a huge fan, but it is definitely different from a lot of the other things I've had on the Dunkin' menu in the past. It's just not blowing my mind. But it's inoffensive, so I'll give this a C tier rating. Basically, I could take it or leave it. Really though, Dunkin', if you're watching this episode, and I'm sure that you are, make this a Christmas time drink. Now we're on to the array of pumpkin-themed drinks, and we're gonna start with the Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew. When did cold brew become such a hot, trendy drink anyway? You know, iced coffees have been around for ages, but it was usually just coffee poured over ice. I can only remember this being a thing like over the last 5 or 6 years or so. Not that I'm hating, of course. You know, I love cold brew coffee, so God bless whomever brought that to the forefront. Thank you, anonymous coffee person. Daddy ain't feeling this one. This is more for people who like a really bitter coffee, and I'm frankly not that guy. I do drink a ton of coffee, but I like my medium roast, you know, your standard donut shop fare. This is veering really hard into the dark blends, which aren't my favorite, you know, stuff like espresso, Americano, French, all that stuff, none of that's my jam. Now for all the coffee purists out there, you know, the ones who can taste the fine notes of C minor, or whatever the hell a note is, I realize that you probably consider me the scum of the earth who caves to big coffee bean, but you're not drinking Dunkin anyway, so you're probably not watching this review. If you're here, get out. I like the pumpkin cream on top, but there isn't enough of it. I need more of it to overpower the almost sour coffee. This is a D tier drink, bordering on F. I'm not a fan of this one at all. This one's a new one to the Dunkin lineup, having never been offered before. And I didn't bother reading to find out exactly what it was, because sometimes I like to be surprised. I was offered the choice to get it hot or cold, and I decided to go with hot, figuring, we'd split the difference 50-50 with hot and cold drinks in this review. I've been frequently told to find better balance in my diet, so I expect to be damned with praise next time I see my family doctor. Don't tell her about the bacon. That's good. Oh, that's really good. There's a lot of fall happening in this cup, Hang on for a second here. This is an autumn of awesomeness is what this is. It's got your pumpkin spice, and I think that the nuts in here are hazelnuts. I don't usually like hazelnuts, but for some reason they're really jiving with this one. I can see this one being every bit as versatile in a cold drink as well. It's not so sweet that it's like a cup of melted candy, but it's not so bitter that it's bad like the cold brew. It's just a standard double D coffee with some really nice shots of flavor in here. Just a little bit of milk, it's great. This is A tier all the way is what this is. I can't in good conscience move it into the S tier because I have some coffee favorites that slot in there, and this is just a level below them. But it's close, it's real close. Great new addition to the lineup. Y'all have a keeper on your hands. And finally, the centerpiece to any coffee shop fall menu, the pumpkin spice latte. I've never had the PSL from Dunkin because by and large, if I'm gonna treat myself to one, it's gonna come from Starbucks. And by one, I mean one a day. Just, hook me up to that stuff intravenously, please. I need a safe house for my addiction. I'm not okay. The bar is set mega high when it comes to the PSL, and I'm liable to do a full PSL showdown in the near future, but consider this one your kickoff to a pumpkin-themed month on the channel, because it's gonna be getting real up in here. Holy, how much sugar is in this thing? I need a dentist and a new pancreas. That's insane. This is not coffee. This is liquid sugar with a splash of espresso in it. I can taste the vanilla. I taste the pumpkin spice. Those are good. But we need to remove 100 grams of sugar from this thing. I'm terrified if I step outside into the rain, I'm going to melt. I love the flavor of pumpkin spice, but I can't recommend this because I feel like my stomach is now gonna rot itself out of its core. So, I can't even believe I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna put this in the D tier. They have the flavors so right, but it's so sickeningly sweet, I wouldn't even want it as a dessert option. I've had Skittles that pack less of a punch than this drink does. Let's bring in a final recap, so I'll just pop up a chart right now, and there you go. You can see the pumpkin donut, the Munchkins, and the Nutty coffee are all aces, and secretly, so is the bacon. I just don't want to encourage any further clogging of an already overwhelmed healthcare system. So my friends, give me your thoughts on the Dunkin menu in the comment section. And of course, if you're a pumpkin spice fan, do hit the subscribe button because it's gonna be all orangey gourd content for the next month. Along with some other stuff, of course, but mostly the pumpkin.